So today starts a detail that has been quite a few months in the works here, working on a Black Magic 2004 Volkswagen R32 Golf. It is a very rare and very cool car. I'm a big Volkswagen guy, as you well know, and I love the R32. I think everyone who's into Volkswagen Audi does. Beautiful car, only 750 of them made in Black Magic, and it is in for a full detail, paint correction, and ceramic coating. It is currently 4 o'clock, it's about to get dropped off, and I wanted to get it washed and decontaminated today. Let's get this thing started. By the way, it's very cold in Florida. It's gonna be 28 this weekend. 28, that's unheard of, bro. Yeah guys, a Black Magic Volkswagen R32 Golf, absolutely gorgeous vehicle, just so stunning to look at, definitely a dream car on the list of 5 that I really want to get one day. And if you watch my video of me detailing this thing a couple months ago, I talked about how we were going to plan a full paint correction and coating, and it has been a couple months in the works, but we finally have gotten to the point where we can take a couple days of time and get this thing nice and cleaned up. I'm very excited for this. I mean, I've already done it obviously, but like I was insanely excited at the start of this detail because I knew what it entailed and I knew how it was going to look at the end, and I've just been so excited to show you guys. I've put it off for a couple weeks now editing it because I really wanted to take my time and make sure the video was really good, and I took some of you guys' comments into consideration. I had some people telling me that, you know, stop speeding up your videos, stop slowing down your videos, so I tried to make this video a perfect combination of everything that everyone has asked for with some of my interpretation of how a video should be edited sprinkled on top. And before we go on, if you guys want to help me out tremendously, go ahead and scroll down and press like for me. That right there helps me out more than most things that you could possibly do. It's free, you don't have to, and of course if you don't like the video, go ahead and press dislike, but this one I'm really excited for, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. For those who have watched my videos before, you've probably seen me pull out this little Amazon foam cannon here and use this thing, and it has this green bluish liquid inside, and even though I do title what it is in the bottom left corner, it might be a little confusing to some people, so let me break it down just very quickly. It is Meguiar's D101 all-purpose cleaner mixed in with a little bit of Adam's car shampoo, or quite frankly you can use any kind of pH neutral car shampoo, with water. I use like literally a quarter of the bottle full with D101, just a littlest bit of a dab of car shampoo, and the rest of it water. What this does is it allows a very powerful degreaser that is diluted so not too powerful to be able to sit on whatever surface you spray it onto and be able to stay for a substantial amount of time and eat away at whatever might be on the surface because of the car shampoo that's mixed in with it. I've just come up with this literally maybe 6-7 months ago, and it is a wonderful thing to have, especially when you're trying to pre-treatment paint before you go into any kind of correction, because you want to get rid of any waxes and sealants and stuff like that, and you'll see that as we progress through this video. Look at that. I have a stool again. Black Magic R32 Golf. Today we're going to decontaminate with a clay bar, move into paint inspection, and then start some cutting with a 1 and 2 inch pad. Very excited. Clay barring a car, especially before paint correcting, is absolutely essential, and many of you guys know this and detailers know this as well. And the main reason I bring this up is because I really wanted to touch on a certain subject with clay bars. First of all, with this car, it's absolutely filthy. That clay bar was just muttered with crap. But really what I wanted to get into is just the use of a clay bar, and I've talked to some customers about this back and forth as well. You don't need to clay bar your car every other time you wash it. Some people get that mixed up. The reason you don't want to do that is because whenever you use a clay bar, you definitely have a very high percentage chance of introducing marring into the clear coat when you really don't need to. If you want to do any kind of decontamination, focus on using iron decontaminants or tar decontaminants like CarPro's Iron X or Tar X, and just know if you do use a product such as that, it's pretty harsh on sealants and wax, so you might have to reapply that afterwards. And if you guys want a detailing basics video on how to use iron decontaminants or tar decontaminants, let me know down in the comments. I'd actually be really down to do a video like that. Alright, so now that we're done clay barring and decontaminating, it was actually a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. I thought this vehicle was in great condition, it felt like it too, but man, just had a lot of embedded contaminants. But what the plan is now is to tape off certain areas that is going to be accessible to a 1 and 2 inch pad, so we can get all the small nitty gritty areas out of the way, polished and done. And with this car, even though it's tiny, a lot of flat surfaces, there's a lot of areas that I would definitely only want to use a 1 or 2 inch pad. But before we do that, we gotta flip this camera around, grab my scan grip light, do a paint inspection. With the paint being fully inspected and some areas taped off, we're ready to pull out our micro polisher from Adams Polishes, matched with their 1.5 inch coarse blue foam cutting pad. That's a lot of words for a simple pad. And the cutting compound we are using is Sonax Cut Max. This is usually my go-to because it's not some crazy deep cutting compound, but it's also not so subtle either. It definitely has some really good cutting capabilities. And with me, I'm not the kind of person who just goes full ham on a clear coat right whenever I first start cutting. I usually don't want to pull out like Meguiar's M105, which is some deep cutting stuff. I want to use something that's not so subtle, but pretty subtle, so that way I can try to preserve as much clear coat as I possibly can. Alright, so one of my batteries for this polisher just died. It won't recharge, it won't work or anything, so I'm gonna let that one battery I have left charge up and switch to a 3 inch microfiber using the Eurotech microfiber cutting pad. This clip right here definitely portrays exactly how the entirety of the paint looked under a light. Very light swirling and scratching with a little bit of heavy ones mixed in between. It was just really hard to show you guys earlier in those clips whenever I was doing the paint inspection because my camera and my scan grip light just weren't wanting to cooperate with each other. But seeing all that swirling and scratching, it's actually really cool whenever you look at the after clip to see what some simple cutting does with only a 3 1/8 pad and not chasing anything in particular.
Alright, so we're running out of time for today when it comes to the cutting, so I'm going to switch up to the Rupes Blue Coarse cutting pad, the foam one. Focus on the hood, doors, and the roof. I have like an hour left of my day and we're going to try to get that done. See the water spots there. Clear.
The cutting work definitely came out whenever I pulled out this pad here, because this pad right here from Rupes definitely cuts pretty deep. It really sucks to maintain this pad in the sense of being able to use it multiple times, but this paint in particular definitely responded fantastically to the Cut Max as well as this pad from Rupes. I didn't have as much work to come back to whenever I was chasing scratches after using this, and dang, I was really happy with it.
Well, next day is going to be a busy day today. We got to finish cutting the driver's side, the hatch. I want to get done with that by at least 1:30. If we finish a little early, we'll go ahead and go through and chase a couple of spots. And then from 1:30 until 2:30, I want to get the exhaust tips to be pristine. I want to polish those things up. And then from 2:30 until 4 o'clock, polish the entirety of the vehicle, really 5 o'clock. And then come 5, 6 o'clock time, I want to coat it. now what we have here is about an hour's worth of time to get the exhaust tips polished. I'm not going to be doing any crazy sanding or anything like that, but we will get them cleaned. For us to do this, it's very simple. Drill with a little attachment and some polish. Alright, I know I said I wasn't going to sand them or anything, but I said screw it and just went ahead and sanded it so it all looks so good.
For those wondering what my process was to get these exhaust tips sanded, it was very simple. I just wet sanded with 1000 grit and then followed up with my little drill attachment and some Mother's Metal polish, making sure it was completely clean with some CarPro's IPA and then putting on some Geon Q2 rim. It's just the perfect finish in my opinion, and it's such an easy cleaning process whenever you're washing your car in order to get your exhaust tips looking good.
Oh man, like I said, I wasn't planning on sanding the tips. I wanted to just polish and move on, but I had extra time, so I went ahead and sanded them up with 1000 grit wet sanding, followed up with a polish, and man, did it look good. I went ahead and coated them with some Q2 rim, so that way they are polished and coated and out of the way and done. And now we move on to my favorite part of my job, which is polishing, refining, using Sonax Perfect Finish with a yellow pad. We're gonna start out with a 3-inch pad. Get up close to all the little areas so that way I know everywhere is polished all the way up, like right here, close enough to the roof right here. Of course, I'm gonna follow up with a 1-inch pad to get into the little nitty gritty areas and stuff like the grill, because it does reach into the grill and like the door handles area and that sort of stuff. Still got a hand polish in between here. And then we're gonna get to coating it tonight. So before we do anything though, we need to go ahead and IPA the surface and get that out of the way. Start the time lapse now.
Sonax Perfect Finish matched with the yellow Rupes pad is just an unbelievable finish and is quite frankly my favorite way to finish paint. And this before and after right here is actually a really good example. If you saw the before clip of the hood, it was really cloudy, really hazy, and that's what you get from using a dual action polisher with some heavy cutting. And the after is just silky, smooth, the paint looks wet. Sonax Perfect Finish definitely has a very, very unique finish compared to everything else I've tried.
So now that we're done IPAing it down, making sure everything is all prepped and ready to go, we're gonna get the Crystal Serum Light with XFV4 from G-Technic and get this thing looking good, man. This paint has never looked this good. Since the minute I first met Daniels when he first got this car, it looks phenomenal. We're gonna hit the paint, the glass, everything, and make it look really good. All right, man, so it just looks so good. And now we're gonna put the icing on the cake and apply XO-V4 by G-Technic. So everything should work out good. We've got some drum and bass going on in the background. We're all hanging out here. Kyle's out there washing cars. Me and Lewis are here. Alyssa and Heath, everyone's here. Everyone's here having fun. So we're gonna get this thing nice and clean.
Crystal Serum Light by G-Technic is definitely my favorite consumer grade ceramic coating you're able to get your hands on. I would love nothing more than be able to be a person who can apply Crystal Serum Ultra, but we're not there yet. We will one day, mark my words, but we're not there yet. But it can be a little tricky, and by tricky I mean when it comes to the XO-V4 you top it with. That stuff can be messy. And the reason for that is because you've put on a very slick ceramic coating, so it's going to be very hard for anything to be on top of it that is liquid, because really what you're going to be doing is just moving product around on the surface. Yes, there is going to be some that adheres to the coating, no doubt. Just make sure you use about 2 or 3 microfiber towels and get rid of every last bit of excess residue, because you definitely don't want a little bit of smudging to turn into a high spot.
That's it. We're done for tonight. I'm gonna come here tomorrow, wipe down the Beatmaker, IPA and all the little crevices, tire dressing, and then we're going on a massive photo shoot with all the guys, including this car. We're gonna do some roller shoots at sunset. Man, this car looks so good. So, final day with the Blackmagic R32. I'm here with the owner. We gotta wipe it down with Beadmaker, go through all of the crevices with IPA and a cocktail stick to make sure it's nice and clean. I already put on tire dressing, but after we're all done with that, we're gonna back it out and do some after clips. The only thing left to do other than that stuff is to go out and do a photo shoot, and we're gonna do that later on near sunset. It's a chilly day in Florida. I'm really cold. It's like 42 degrees with the wind blowing, with not a cloud in sight and the sun up in the air. So it's a gorgeous day, but it's freezing. So we're gonna try to stay warm and get this car done. Alright, so we're done with IPA. That's why you do it, because it's dirty. And now, Beadmaker. So that's it, a 2004 Mark IV Volkswagen R32 Golf with a truck driving by. Holy shit, a Mark IV. A Mark IV R32 Golf, one of my dream cars in Blackmagic. This thing looks amazing. We did a full correction on it, ceramic coated it, and now it is completely done, ready to go. Man, what a journey. Like 7 days worth of work done in 4 days, and now we're gonna go off to a photo shoot. But before we do that, I gotta take some after clips here, back this thing out, give you guys a cold start clip and all of that, because the VR6 just sounds amazing. So if you guys like the video, please show me by leaving a like, and if you guys like car content of any kind of the sort, go ahead and press subscribe, and if you ring that bell, you know every single time I upload a video. It is cold as hell. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this recording, do some after shots, and then get warm. So see you guys next week. That's it.